Genesis 8:20 to 9:17 reveals a turning point in the biblical story where judgment gives way to covenantal peace. After the flood, Noah steps onto a cleansed earth and immediately builds an altar to the Lord. The sacrifice rising from the altar represents thanksgiving, worship, and acceptance before God. The emphasis is not on Noah earning favor, but on God responding with mercy. The Lord declares that he will never again destroy every living creature in the same manner, even though humanity still possesses a fallen heart. This demonstrates that divine mercy triumphs over condemnation. The statement that the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth is significant because it shows that the flood itself did not remove sin from humanity. Judgment upon the old world could not transform the human condition. Instead, God establishes his relationship with mankind through covenantal promise rather than repeated destruction. The stability of seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night reveals the faithfulness of God toward creation despite human weakness. Genesis 9 begins with language that echoes the original creation mandate given to Adam. Noah and his family are told to be fruitful and multiply, showing that humanity is entering a new beginning. Noah stands as a type of a new head of humanity after judgment has passed. The world after the flood resembles a restored creation. Yet the text also reveals that this restoration is grounded in God's grace rather than human perfection. The permission to eat animals expands humanity's provision. Previously, green plants had been emphasized for food, but now every moving thing is given for nourishment. Even in this, God establishes boundaries concerning blood, for life belongs ultimately to him. Blood represents life poured out, and throughout Scripture, this theme points forward to the greater reality of redemption through sacrificial blood. The warning against shedding human blood reinforces the sacred value of humanity because mankind is made in the image of God. Human life possesses dignity and worth because of divine design. This principle establishes justice within the post-flood world and reveals that God values human beings even in their fallen state. The covenant introduced in Genesis 9 is universal in scope. Unlike later covenants that focus specifically upon Israel, this covenant is made with Noah, his descendants, and every living creature. God binds himself by promise never again to destroy all flesh through a flood. The covenant rests entirely upon God's declaration and faithfulness. Humanity contributes nothing to secure it. The rainbow serves as the covenant sign. In the ancient world, the bow was an instrument of warfare, yet here the bow is placed in the clouds as a sign that divine wrath against the world through flood judgment has ceased. The imagery suggests that the weapon of judgment has been set aside. The rainbow therefore becomes a symbol of peace, mercy, and reconciliation between heaven and earth. This passage ultimately points beyond itself to the greater reality of reconciliation accomplished through Christ. Noah's altar, the acceptance of sacrifice, the preservation through judgment, and the covenant of peace all foreshadow the fullness of redemption. The flood demonstrated the end of an old, corrupt world, while the covenant revealed God's intention to preserve and sustain creation through mercy. The movement from judgment to covenant anticipates the transition from the old covenant order into the everlasting covenant of peace. The emphasis throughout the passage is not upon humanity maintaining favor through performance, but upon God establishing peace through his own promise. The rainbow therefore stands as a testimony that wrath does not have the final word. Mercy, covenant faithfulness, and restoration prevail.